the littlest of children.
We have room. We could hide them. Bring as many as you can. What a terrible time you must have had. German troops come every morning. You can't make a sound. Mama?
Have you been keeping secrets from me?
No one knows how hard it is. You can never tell who your enemies are. Or how to trust. Maybe that's why I love animals so much. You look in their eyes, and you know exactly what's in their hearts.
What have you been up to in your little zoo?
Aloha! This is Trinidad, your island man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii, here on the island of Oahu. Yes, giving you the best movie reviews on the entire island. Yesterday I saw a film called The Zookeeper's Wife. So, Zookeeper's Wife, remember our rating scale? Shaka thumbs up, it's good to see, I recommend it. Shaka thumbs down, it's bad to see, I don't recommend it, or it's junk. And well, I'm glad to say that The Zookeeper's Wife is a shaka thumbs up. I did enjoy this movie. For those not familiar with it, you've seen the trailer. It's set during World War II. Starts off at the very beginning of World War II, even actually before the official start of the war, in the summer of 1939 in Warsaw, Poland, where Nazi Germany, under the direction of Adolf Hitler, they invade Poland and pretty much take over the entire country at the beginning of the onset of the war in 1939 in the fall. So this talks about the Zabinski family, their son, potentially their daughter, and the wife and husband, who happen to be zookeepers at Warsaw, Poland. And they have a fabulous zoo with all these animals. And during the summer, you get to see just how well they cared for the animals and how much they actually love the animals, especially the wife, played by Jessica Chastain. And she was wonderful in this movie, Oscar award-winning actress. And she does a fantastic performance as the wife and caregiver to these animals. What I found was interesting that during the invasion, of course, during the fall of 1939, you can see the casualties of human lives in war, but we don't see what happens to the animals usually. And if we do, not much focus is put on that. In this one, we see during the initial, blitzkrieg air bombing of, Poland, even within the first few hours and days, most of the major zoo specimens are wiped out, unfortunately. Those that do survive after the occupation by German forces are essentially carved up for food. Smaller animals do survive. Jessica Chasman's character is able to save a few, but definitely not many. And it's just one of those costs of war that we don't usually see. The other major starring actor in this is David Brühl. You'll remember him from Captain America Winter Soldier, where he played Zemo, or Baron Zemo in the comic. He is spot on, evil and definitely creepy in this movie. So if you enjoyed his Zemo character, you'll get tons of it more here in The Zookeeper's Wife. For those not familiar with the story, which I wasn't, and I'm surprised that none of this had ever been mentioned in, all the history classes that I had taken in high school and even some in college. But essentially, the Zabinski family, seeing that, most of their animals were gone, they had the opportunity with the space on the grounds of the zoo to hide, Jewish people, adults, children, men, women, and through the resistance, the Polish resistance, smuggle them eventually to safety, or at least have the opportunity to get them to safety out of the ghettos, which was the step and stage before the concentration camps. Very poor time in human history. And I'll just go ahead and tell you this isn't much of a spoiler, as it's told at the end of the story, that the Zabinskis, the zookeepers, were able to save approximately 300 people doing this. And so this is along the lines of, if you remember the movie by Steven Spielberg, Schindler's List, where about the industry magnate who's able to pay off and save, hundreds of Jews, maybe even thousands of Jews in Germany, and get them to somewhat relative safety. This is definitely along the lines of that, and definitely along the lines of Diary of Anne Frank. I kind of posted that I felt it was lighter than Schindler's List, yet deeper than Diary of Anne Frank. And it does discuss both types of issues and dilemmas. I kind of prefer these war movies. Now, I liked Hacksaw Ridge last year, but I'm not looking forward to Dunkirk. I may not even see it. It doesn't have the American perspective. But this one, since it is directly related to, not war and not fighting per se, I mean, those are the consequences of the story and what leads to these people's actions, to befriend these people and help them in this urgent time of need. Yet, it is the human plight, the compassion and the humanity that the Zabinskis showed, to these persecuted Jews, to these people, that, rings true as much today as it did back then, with everything going on in the world. Just point almost anywhere on the map and you can see it. It's a shame that it's still going on. But, I found this kind of story very uplifting on that level, and for that I give it a strong shock, a thumbs up, and I highly recommend it. If you're a history buff by any means of the imagination, definitely go ahead and see it. If you enjoy, historical dramas, World War II movies, then you'll love this movie. And check it out. And now that it's in wide release, you can at least see it for $6 at, Regal on the Tuesday, or $6 consolidated at most theaters on Thursday. So again, definitely check it out. Shock a thumbs up all the way. I've described it to you a little bit, but there's still a lot of twists and turns, things to keep you on edge and interested in watching this movie. So definitely go see it. Shock a thumbs up. I can't recommend it enough. And hopefully we'll hear about it maybe at the Oscars. All right, take care. This is Trinidad, your island man, live from Hawaii, giving you my movie review for Zookeeper's Wife. All right, aloha.